Hey everybody, Joe Malone here. It's Dallas Trading Floor. We're live, and it is a Wednesday. Market is kind of pulled back a little bit. Funny, it seems like you move forward and then you move back. So that's kind of the. It seems like this. Hopefully once we're through the election, that will be a little bit different. But for right now, it seems like we're moving. Wait a minute, the Jim and Ollie show. Well, what do you know? Okay, there we go. Dallas Trading Floor is live, and for everybody also on TikTok, I'm simulcasting this on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor for everybody out there. And so let's get into it. Basically, here it is. We are essentially, we have a new buy point established on Tesla, and this is at 502. It just sort of happened today, and it's kind of interesting. I definitely went into Tesla. I did liquidate some positions. If you're looking at the small portfolio, I sold Marvell Technologies. Just wasn't quite working out as well as I'd like it to. Did make some money, but basically moved against it because I want to put some into my money to work in some other places. And I also sold Oracle, and it seems like the whole thing with this with this TikTok thing, it doesn't seem to have really taken off. So I don't know what to think about it. I was up a little bit on that, and I just decided, well, it's time to possibly take that off the shelf too. So that's what I did there in the small portfolio. And it just sometimes things are like that. They'll move, and then they won't be the right thing, and you just take them off the table. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Market is still in a confirmed uptrend, as you can tell. It's 11,759, and that's down a tad, but it was up in the morning, and then this slide was taken just recently, so it's down a little bit. We're down on the S&P 500. We're also down on the Dow Jones, so we are moved down a little bit here, and not really too concerned. It's just sort of settling. Just basically show you the spider, and of course, everybody out there probably knows this, but the SPDR is the world's largest ETF, and many people's entire net worth is in this. So this is a very important metric. As you can see, we just pulled back just a tad. Let me see if I can kind of get you a good pointer on that. Yeah, there. Let's see if I can make that pointer work. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, it's sort of moved a little bit to the downside here. We do have some selling activity, not a lot of volume, but definitely, definitely pulling back there a little bit. But as you can see, we've bounced off of, this was the COVID-19 thing. We bounced, and then we pulled back up above the 200, the 50-day moving line. We bounced, and then we've moved back up. So we're definitely in a confirmed uptrend, but right now it's off a bit. Relative strength on the QQQ is at 84. So I'm going to show you back the slide that I should have showed you before, and that is the S&P 500. It's pulled back as well. It pulled back a little bit at the end of the day yesterday, and it's pulled back today. So we definitely have a little bit of settling right here at about the 350 level. The 360 level on the SPDR is a very important level because that is where it needs to exceed to sort of continue back up on this upward trend. And I do think we're going to go there, but we're just kind of momentarily stopped here. Now, because it is an election coming, that might have something to do with it. Who knows? I mean, who knows? Now, getting on to the fun stuff. Well, it looks as if, and this is really if it looks as if NEO got a buy. It got a buy alert, which is amazing. J.P. Morgan actually actually put out a buy on this, which is incredible. NEO has a buy point of 1555, so with a cup with handles. So we might want to consider moving into this stock, which, I would have, I've been in NEO on the small portfolio several times. I'm probably going to be moving into it tomorrow based on this recommendation. And I'm also going to show you how that's setting up. I also moved back into Tesla. Now we're a little bit below the 502.59 buy point, but it's very, very close to its 52-week high. So basically, it's forming a base, and so Tesla looks like it is probably going to move higher. Now, I have a little bit more than a half position. I actually have 2 full positions on Tesla. I'm a little bit more of a bull than other people, but that's a very interesting thing to happen. Here's the chart on Tesla. Just kind of wanted to give you a look at it, and it's moving up very nicely. This is, if you can see it at this level here, this is the oops, wait a minute. Okay, ooh, we went back. Oh, there we go. Where this is the 502 level right here. So as we come closer to that, that is the actual formal buy point. I've been buying it as we've been moving up. So it looks like we're moving up on Tesla once again, relative strength of 99, which is really good because that is the top. Basically, Tesla, in terms of its price action, is outperforming everything on the S&P 500. It's in the top 1%. So that is kind of good to look at stocks that have that high relative strength, and that gives us a lot of tremendous upside potential. Just want to show you the chart on NIO. This is JP Morgan just recommended this. It also has a very, very high relative strength at 99. So it doesn't get much better than this. There was a gap up today, as you can see, very strong buying going on there. It looks like we may have it started to trend here, and this trend may be going up. So we want to possibly look at putting NIO in the portfolio. I'm going to try to make a call on that tomorrow to see kind of where we're going. But I do think that one is probably headed north. Now, just so I can give you an idea of what my portfolio looks like currently, this is my portfolio. You'll notice there are 2 missing items here. One of them, of course, being Oracle. I do love Oracle, but it just wasn't moving fast enough for me, so I did sell it today. Taiwan Semi is in it. Of course, I'm in Tesla. I definitely doubled my position today in Tesla. It's been up very strongly. Sorrento Therapeutics, it's kind of doing okay. This one, I have a call on this one, so I may be out of this fairly soon as well. But Sorrento Therapeutics, Fastly, of course, everybody got my trade alert, hopefully, on that. And by the way, if you didn't get the trade alert, super easy. All you have to do is go to www.DallasTradingFloor and then fill in the information. I'll show you that in just a second so that you can get on those action trade alerts. Cloudflare, I was definitely put this one out, and then Digital Turbine. I have a small position in Digital Turbine. They're both up today nicely as well. So that's kind of where I'm at in terms of my in terms of my portfolio as it stands right now. So need to get into the questions, but first I want to kind of show you how my small portfolio is. This is available, of course, by going to www.DallasTradingFloor, and I'll send you a link out for this. And this is a Google Sheets, so it allows you to see pretty much what I'm doing and commenting. I have gone a little bit into cash. I'm getting ready to possibly move into a Neo position here. I did sell two of my items, Marvell Technologies and Oracle. So I did sell those today as well. This is kind of how I'm doing. As you can see, everything is pretty much up today. Even though it's a down day on the market, we're up pretty much on everything that we've got. So that's looking pretty good. And this is sort of how I'm trading at the time. And by the way, I do maintain a watch list, which is the watch list of stocks and where I'm buying them and where you possibly could buy them too. And that's this. This is down here. This is a watch list, and it shows you if it's in the buy zone or not. Right now Marvell Technologies is in the buy zone, but it doesn't. I sold it because it wasn't performing as well as I would have liked to have. Pulte, by the way, is in the buy zone. Just want to show you that, and I think in the next few months that should do very well as well. So that kind of gives you an idea of how the small portfolio works, and it's available. You can see it on the website, and I'll just show you that right now. And, of course, this is at Dallas Trading Floor. Oh, it didn't go. It should have gone to there. Yeah. This is at DallasTradingFloor.com. And if I get it right, it'll work. DALLAS, trading, TRADING, FLOOR.com. There we go. All right, there we go. Yeah, and this is how the website looks. So if you want to get on the free trade alerts, just first, last name, and then email, and then hit that subscribe button. Of course, it's free. And if you want to see the small portfolio, what I just showed you, That's down here, first, last name, and then hit the subscribe button. By the way, I'm a canned slim trader, and if you want to learn how to trade in this style, I think this is a great style, invented by William O'Neill at Investor Business Daily, you can go over here to the Learn to Trade bookshelf, and these are the books that I recommend getting started with. How to Make Money in Stocks, A Winning System, Good Times or Bad by William O'Neill, and then the Matthew Galgani book, which kind of gives you checklists on how to get started. So, without further ado, your questions. Thank you for holding on. All right, so we've got a lot of people waiting. That's always nice. Let's see. Fastly, Vive, and Etsy are all down today. Help! Well, here's the thing. Stocks basically don't go up in a straight line, and that's something that you have to get used to. They move up and they move down, but it's the general direction that we're most interested in. So let's look at Fastly. It definitely has pulled off a little bit. That's why it's so important to get in at the buy point. You think, well, God, why would you, why is that so important? Well, the reason it is because once something starts moving, then it won't go up straight, it'll pull back. And that's definitely been the case with Fastly. So let's take a look at the Fastly chart as we speak. So here we go. Here's Fastly. It's pulled back. See, this is the buy point, 117.79. So actually, this is a good buying opportunity because as it pulls back into this little blue area here, this is the buy zone. So this is how it goes up. It pushes up and then it pulls back and pushes up and pulls back. So I do think we're going to see it move right up the 10-day line, and that let's take a look and see how that's going to look. So let me see if I could make that work. Okay, there we go. So this is the general trend of Fastly. So it may pull back a little bit, but I think if you hold into this just for a little bit, you're going to see this move up to about the 140, 145 level in the near future. So that's over the period of about 30 to 35 days is what I'm expecting for this stock to achieve. So it definitely is pulled back. That's true. One thing about these trade alerts is that you sort of have to be quick on them because sometimes it will pull up above the buy area and then it will pull back as well. So let's look at Vive. And Vive, as of late, has been very popular. Viva Systems, of course, is the name of the company, and it's based in Pleasanton, California, beautiful Pleasanton, place I know very well. And it is primarily it's a software as a service company that does work in the vaccine and the pharmaceutical industry, basically going through the testing and the approval process. So pretty much 85% of all the world's pharma companies use this company. So it's very powerful. It did pull back to the buy point here. So this is something that you've always got to look at. This is why you want to buy at the buy point, because it typically gives you some support there. But it's pulled back to the buy point. The buy point on Viva, and this might be a good buy for tomorrow or possibly towards the end of the week, because I do think it's going up, and it has pulled back to the buy point, is 298.76. So that's kind of where it was probably best to buy it. All right, buy point for NEO. Good question. The buy point for NEO is about 15.50, but let's look at the chart so that I can, so that I can give you the exact number. There we go. There's NEO, and here we go on the screen. So here we go for NEO. This is a low price stock. It did gap up today. You're saying, well, gosh, why is it so much higher? Well, this is the buy point here, folks. It's at 15.45. So I do suspect that, this may not pull back as far as we'd like it to, just based on this chart pattern, but I do think it's going to pull back to the 21 exponential. So look for it tomorrow to possibly go up again, but I do think that, on a pullback, you want to buy this. Right now, you don't want to buy it. It's too far extended at 26.34. So a little bit too far extended. Let this thing pull back, and then I think we're going to see some nice action on it. Tremendous buying activity going on here. There's an Easter egg here, which is the largest, basically, volume since the last pivot. And so that is very significant. It looks like there was a very, very good there was a very good recommendation from J.P. Morgan on NEO, which is unusual for a Chinese stock, and I think that's very, very worthwhile. But wait for a pullback on this, and then I think you're going to see a very nice pop on it. That's my take on Neo as it stands right now, and I go back to the charts that I've put up as well. So, all right. So thank you for doing this. Thoughts on Roku? Well, Roku is a great stock as well. I am looking to possibly move my show to Roku. That's in the planning stage. It's not available yet on Roku, just on TikTok, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, and Facebook. That's the only place that's available now. But I do think it's very strong. It's got a 95 rating, which is relative strength is very strong. Now, of course, 99 is the best relative strength. Is there a buy point for this? Wow, there really isn't. You're really probably going to have to buy this as it moves back to the 10-day moving average. This is not an optimal buy point, but Roku is moving so fast. And I think into the end of the year, you're going to see Roku do even better than it is now. Let's look at the buying criteria on it to see sort of where it's at. Yeah, it's 7 out of 9. That's excellent. Let's look at the ownership. Ownership is increasing. It's definitely very, very good. Unfortunately, we don't have Fidelity Contrafund in there, but we've got two others that are quite good. Fidelity Contrafund is really the good housekeeping seal of approval, in my opinion. The industry is looking good. It's 77, so we're definitely in the top of the 197. We want to be in that just because that's where the good stuff is. And let's look at the options action on it. There is some interesting option actions on the 210 strike. That is interesting. It's paying, wow, it's $13. So paying almost at par for that. So where would I buy Roku if I was going to buy it? And I may do that. I think I would be looking to be in it at about 219. I don't know if it's going to pull back that far, though. But I do think we're going to see another down day. Wait for the down day on Roku. And then I think on the reversal, I think that would be a good buy. But it's an excellent stock. And very, very worthwhile. I think we want to wait for a little bit of a pullback and reversal, and then I think we'll have a very nice buy on Roku. So really good, really good one. Hey, what shall I? Thank you very much. Why do you put all cash into net other than other stocks? When they're going, I am. Oh, okay, great question. Why do I have different positions? Well, and here's what it really comes down to. Sometimes everything is in the future, so I don't always put all cash into everything. What I do is if it's looking good, like NET did, if Cloudflare is looking good, then I'll go in with one full position. If it goes and it gets to be stronger, then I'll put another full position in it. So I'm always buying it as it's going up. It's strange. You would think you would want to buy it as it's going down, but you don't want to do that. So I go in with a first position. If that's successful, then I go in with a next position and so forth. Now, Cloudflare has been doing great for me, and I probably will double my position size if I can find another buy point. And as you can see, it's pulled up a lot. I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback in order to buy it again. But I basically went in pretty much right at the buy point, this dotted line here, and I went into it. The relative strength is still super excellent, and we have a lot of buying activity going on here. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a bit of a pullback. When there's a pullback, I'm probably going to be in it again, even though it's at 60 right now. Can you believe that? It's at 60, and that's just in a few days. So doing really, really, really well. On that. As you can see, I'll show you over in my small portfolio. That's one of the reasons I'm getting my small portfolio ready to take that. I'm in it currently. This is Cloudflare, and it's grown a bit in size, so it's done very, very well. I'm probably going to be, with this cash from the other things that I sold that are weaker, I'm probably going to be buying some stronger things, probably Cloudflare, and possibly also some more Tesla. So that's kind of why that's sort of why I do it that way. I don't go in with all guns ablazing, but that's good. You want to go in. You never want to go into any stock more than one full position. And what is one full position? Well, one full position basically is the value of your portfolio divided by 8. That's going to give you one full position. And it's so it's like a pizza pie. You go in with that one piece of pizza, and then if it works, you go in with another pizza, and you have two pieces of pizza. Typically, you don't want to have more than about You don't want to have more than about three full positions committed to any one stock, just because there's always going to be something out there that you want to get into. That's an excellent question, so I really appreciate that as well. Can you review PEN? Let's look at PEN real quick to see if there's a buy point and to see if there's anything we can see on that. So let me go into that right now, PEN. And that gives us, yeah, there we are. Okay, so let's look at that chart. Basically, we have it's seeing strength, but it's pulled back. There's some certain things about this chart that I don't like, and one of them is that it is below the 50-day moving average. I don't like to buy stocks as they move below that. I want to see, well, here's what I want to see for a stock in terms of tactically in order to buy it. I want to see it pulling above this line. I want to see the green line, that's the 21-day exponential moving average. I want to see that above. And I also want to see this little tiny line, the 10-day moving average. I want to see that above as well, typically before I buy it. Now, this black line here is the 200-day moving average, so it's above the 200-day. It also doesn't have enough relative strength. 79 is okay, but I want to see 80 or better. So let's look at some of the other buying criteria to see if this is a buy or not. Well, unfortunately, it's only 5 out of 9. I typically will only buy stocks that are at least 6 out of 9 on the O'Neill checklist, and that's what this is here. So this unfortunately doesn't make that as well. We do have some nice increasing fund ownership. I do like that. We do have Lord Abbott, which is excellent. Lord Abbott is one of the best funds. I typically like to see the things that they're in. So that's a very big plus. So this is definitely a watch list stock. Would I buy it right now? No, I would not buy it. I would watch list this one. It is coming into a potential buy area, but for right now, unfortunately, it's a watch list. I would not buy it immediately. Exit strategy for Tesla, sell before earnings. Well, normally, you're absolutely right. Normally, the correct way to do a stock is to hold it into earnings, sell it before earnings. That is absolutely correct. Now, Tesla. I think Tesla is going to show very good earnings, and Tesla is one of those kind of stocks you don't want to short, because I do think we're going to see. I think it actually could move higher up to the 502 buy point after earnings. So I am not going to be selling it into earnings. As a matter of fact, this is one of the few occasions I'm actually buying it into earnings. Normally, I sell them when they come into earnings. With this, I'm going to buy it in earnings. And why? Well, I've been trading Tesla really for about a year now, and I started in it when it was originally 361. Basically, it was 361. That was the pivot on the old stock. Remember, it split 5-for-1. So if that would be in today's dollars, it would be a lot higher. Now, why is 502 such a key level? Well, part of the reason is before the split on August 31st, the stock basically briefly went to about $2,200 a share, and then it split 5-for-1. Well, at $500, it's going to be basically in an unsplit value. It's going to be basically $2,500. So I do think this is the continuation of the upward movement of the stock. Now, that's a long way of saying I'm not going to be selling into the earnings on Tesla. Normally I do that, but I don't. I'm looking at Tesla in a medium and a long-term buy, so I'm trying to acquire even a bigger position in Tesla currently. So let's look at the people that are watching on TikTok. Thank you so much for being patient. Let's see if I can get a good, okay, Cloudflare. Okay, let's look at Cloudflare. This was a call that I had on the action trade alerts, and by the way, it's super easy to get onto the action trade alerts. All you have to do is go over to my website, which is Dallas Trading Floor, and you just fill out this first, last name, and hit that subscribe button, and you're on the action trade alerts. And if you're watching me on TikTok, it's also very easy. All you have to do is go to my profile, hit that link, and you'll be taken directly to the sign-up page for the action trade alerts. Let's look at Cloudflare to see kind of how it's doing. That's, of course, symbol NET. Now, I got that wrong. When I sent out my trade alert, I botched that. I mean, I knew the right symbol. I knew what to buy, but I didn't have the right name. So I'm sorry. I apologize for that. A little bit of amnesia there. This is because I'm sort of a technical trader. I look at what the chart is doing, and I buy in that more than the fundamentals. So I have to apologize. I'm basically a chart reader when it comes to that. So let's look at Cloudflare. It's just kind of shot up there. It's doing all kinds of good things. Again, we had that trade alert, and then when it went boop, it went right up there, and it just sort of had the right look. What do I think is going to happen? Well, I don't know what's going to happen with Cloudflare. It just seems to be taking a rocket ship to the moon. I'm a little bit afraid buying at this level. I think it's going to pull back a little bit. Probably I will be a buyer on the pullback, but right now I'm sort of on the rocket ship. I'm sort of on that rocket ship, riding it up with you guys. So let's look at the checklist. It is 8 out of 9. It's pretty good. I mean, 9 out of 9 is the best you can get. So that's looking good. The increasing fund ownership, liking that too. That's looking good. The Fidelity Contra Fund is in there. That is the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, and it looks like they have increased their position size. So that's very good. Let's look at the options. The options are sort of my crystal ball to see kind of where things are going. The 11:10 expiration call, that's what I'm looking at the 55 strike, is trading at about 580. So basically right now that's at par, because if you add 550 and you add that strike price, you get about $61. So it's basically the options market has saying basically we like it basically at the price that it's at now. It may go a little bit higher, but I think it's going to pull back based on this. So I do expect that we're going to see a little bit of a pullback on this, maybe down to I think that there's support at right about I think there's some support at about 56, 57 on this. So I do think we're going to see it pull back a little bit, but it's just done terrifically, and it's got a 98 relative strength to 99 is the best you can get. So really strong, really strong stock. But we're coming into a period, we're moving from a correction market into a uptrending market. And then when you do that, that's when you see the breakouts the strongest that they are. So believe it or not, coming into the end of the year, I think we're going to see a very strong market. At least that's what the charts are saying to me, that we're going to see a very strong market coming into the end of the year. So it's time to get your, a few weeks ago I was saying, everyone to get in dry powder because we were correcting. We came down 10%. Now it's the time to start deploying that capital. So that's kind of how it goes. Let's see, exit strategy for Tesla before earnings. I'm going to keep it, but if you're worried, sell half your position before earnings. And I think if you're worried about that, no PayPal. November 2nd, or will it go higher before that? Good question. PayPal is also one of my favorite stocks. By the way, everybody on CNBC is going to be saying, oh yeah, buy the banks, buy Bank of America, buy JP Morgan. And I guess that's great advice. But you know what? If you're going to buy a financial, this is the one you want. You want PayPal. Because I've had a PayPal account for over 20 years, and I just think it's going to get better and better. It is trending up. This is a trending up. The only thing is, it does have earnings in about 19 days. I think that this is getting so widely held that a lot of the problems that we used to have aren't there anymore. This is 100% buy. Even at this level, even if you have to buy it, unfortunately, you're going to probably have to buy it off the 10-week. I don't know if you can buy it below 200, but I think that it's moving. It's starting to make its move up, and I think at this point it's a buy, and I really do. I really believe that. I think PayPal's a buy, and I think it's going to be very strong into the end of the year. So that's what I'm looking at the chart. It's got a 93 relative strength. There's been a little bit of a pullback today, but I think it's going to be very strong. And I think you'll be very pleased with that stock. I think PayPal is one of the really great stocks out there. And it's not really quote unquote on sale. People think, oh God, it's expensive. But I think that coming a year from now, I think you're going to be glad you bought PayPal if you hold it that long. So very, very good company. The thoughts on the VOO. The VOO, of course, is a index fund, very, very similar to the Spider. The Spider is slightly larger, but this is the Vanguard version of the Spider. So they pretty much track each other very, very closely. It's pulled back a little bit today. That's no surprise because the S&P has pulled back a little bit today. It started out strong. It's pulling back. But, interestingly enough, and I want to show you this, This pulled back a little bit today, but if I were just investing in index funds, I would be more interested in going with the QQQ. That's an index fund, but it's the NASDAQ 100. And I think it's a little bit stronger. It's also pulled back a little bit, but I think over the next few months, it probably will do a tad better than the VOO. The VOO is doing well, though, because the S&P 500 is doing well. Now, here's one thing with the VOO that I think you have to realize. This is also with the SPIRE, same issue. About 1/3 of all the shares of the S&P 500 are in regional banks, and regional banks, unfortunately, are very, very weak, and that's just because the low interest rates. The interest rates are very low right now, making it more difficult for smaller banks to make money because they just can't make as many loans with as much interest. So that's one of the areas, one of the reasons why, if I was choosing an index fund right now, I'd be looking to the QQQ as opposed to the SPIDER or to the VOO. But it's not bad. I think you know, anytime the market is in a confirmed uptrend, if you buy an index, a broad index like the VOO or the SPIDER, you're going to see it move up. Now, the strategy, the easiest strategy, if you don't want to pick stocks and you just want to do safety, is anytime we're in a confirmed uptrend, which we're in right now, anytime we're in a confirmed uptrend, and you want to be in that index fund, pretty much 100%. And then if it moves to a to a uptrend under pressure, then you want to sell 50%. And then if it moves down, you want to go 100% into cash. If you do that, on the average, you're going to outperform most of the hedge funds out there. So let me just show you the chart for kind of the market direction. This is how you do with the index funds, and of course those are the ETFs, like the VOO and like the SPIDER. Whenever we're in a confirmed uptrend like this, you're 100% invested in that index fund. Then when it moves to a uptrend under pressure, that'll be a yellow arrow here. Then you liquidate 50% of it, keep 50% in cash, and then when it's in a correction, like we just pulled out of the correction just a few weeks ago, the correction basically starting at the end of the early part of September. And in through September, there was a correction about 10%. Then you want to be totally out in cash, and then when it moves back, when like now we're in a confirmed uptrend, we've had what they call follow-through day. Then you want to go back and 100% into the issue, like the VOO or the SPIDER. So that's that little strategy on that. Okay, so thank you. Hey, thank you. Hey, I like the beach. I'd like to be on there right now. Hopefully I will be. I may be taking a vacation in November. I may be going down to the Dominican Republic for a week. We'll see if it works. If it's COVID open, it has to be COVID open. But I'm going to try to broadcast down there when I'm down there. So I don't know. I haven't made plans yet. I may be in the third week in the Thanksgiving time. I may be taking a little trip for a week, but I'll broadcast from the remote location. You won't see my ugly mug though, but you'll see the charts anyways. So that kind of goes there. So okay, so let's see what we have for TikTok. Okay, wooden. It's okay. Oh, hey, great, thank you. 34% on NET. Very nice. I really, that makes me feel important. That makes me feel good, is when I can share stocks that I'm going into that can make other people money. That's just really, that makes me feel really good. So hopefully I can I can share more of those, and I they don't come around all that often, but when they come around, I definitely want to get out there and share with as many people as possible, because this, one of the things about the stock market, everybody says it's a zero-sum game, but I don't believe that. I think that the smaller retail investor, if they get in on some of these things, I think that's really great, and it's not a zero-sum game. I don't think it's a zero-sum game anyways on that. So let's look at Plug. This is Plug here, and of course Plug Power. It's pulled back a little bit from its pivot, but it's got a 1435 pivot on that. It's it's moving right up the 10-day exponential. You can buy it here. But I'd be a little bit careful. I think you want to wait for this thing to basically reverse. It's pulled back. It hasn't really reversed its course. It did sort of today, so I want to see some confirmation on the reversal on this. It's got an excellent checklist, 7 out of 9. That's very good. The funds are in it, and they're increasing. That's very good. And the industry is excellent as well. It's at 15 out of 197. So that's very, very good as well. So this is all over very good, very good stock. Now, where would you buy it? This is always this is the rub when it's moving up like this. Where do you buy this thing? Well, I think that it's going to pull back only to the 10-day line. So it is buyable probably at 1650. I wouldn't buy it at this price unless it reverses. It looks like it's making the reversal, but I just want to see one more day of confirmation. If this moves up tomorrow on good volume, I think that you might want to consider moving into it. I think it's a very good stock, and I think you'll agree. But it's topped out here a little bit. It's pulled back, and I think it might be able to be bought tomorrow if it continues this reversal. So that's kind of the thing. You always want to buy an uptick. I know this is strange. Why would you do that? Well, the reason that you do it, you always want to buy on strength, and you always want to sell on strength. You basically don't want to be in it when it's weak. So the people on CNBC are going to get out there and they're going to say, "Wow, this is a great stock." They're going to say they'll come on with and they'll say, "Exxon is a great stock." Well, yeah, it was a great stock 20 years ago, and they're going to say, "Well, now's the time to buy it on dips." No, never buy on dips. Never, never, never. Why? Because you are not big enough to move the market. The market is moved by funds that are moving in and out of stocks. That's why I take so much time to try to explain: are the funds moving in? Are the funds moving out? We want to be in stuff that the funds are moving in that have a high relative strength to the rest of the market. We want to be buying the top 3 or 4% of the market and the ones that the funds are investing in. That's where we are going to make the money because we're too small to move the market. So we just kind of have to follow along the whales and it's like little minnows. And when the whales start eating something and looking at something, that's where we go to. And that's how you can be successful. And that's what I'm trying to do here as well. And by the way, that's the can slim method pretty much in a nutshell. Tesla, what price target? Well, there are some fund managers that say, Tesla is going to move. The buy point is 507. I think that it may be easily that by the end of the year and maybe before that. So, where's this price target in the future? I don't know, but I think it's going to be higher than it is now, significantly. I can't tell you exactly, but I do tell you that, once it hits 502, that's going to be a base. So that's not going to probably move that much below that. But right now, if you're a little bit more speculative, like I am, you're going to probably try to buy it as it's moving into that range. So I think it's well over 502 by the end of the year. So it may be as high as 550 by the end of the year. You never know. It may be more than that. So they're in the right area. They're staying strong against the market. A lot of good things are happening. Now, they're going to be announcing earnings, so we're going to see how their second quarter earnings did, and I think they're going to be pretty good. I think if Tesla could show good earnings, they could go up a lot. Now, this is not normally the case. Normally, good earnings can cause a fall in the stock price, but I don't think that's going to be the case this time with Tesla. So maybe I'm just an internal optimist, but that's kind of what I think is the way it's going. So, I'm very much of a Tesla bull. So there you go. Buy point for AMD, another great stock, by the way. And this is a stock that for years just didn't do anything, and all of a sudden they've gotten some great new management. They have some great products. They're sort of challenging, I say. NVIDIA for some of their graphics products. They've got some very nice processor products, and they're very good. It's basically moving up this the 50-day moving average, so it's pulled back a little bit. I still like this. The last buy point on this was basically 58.63 cup with handle, so it's pretty extended beyond that. I do believe that you can buy this on the 50-day line. If it pulls back to 82.45 and then reverses, then I think that it might work very well for you. I think it might work very well for you at that price. So about 82.45. But I want to see it pull back to 82.45 and then reverse higher. And then as it's reversing higher, moving higher, that's when you want to put your order in. So it's going to be a little bit of a tricky thing. You're going to have to buy that off of the 21-day exponential, and that's where it is. I will try to put that for AMD on the watch list. So let me put that AMD watch list. I'm going to watch list that with a buy point, so people can see it on the small portfolio. And of course, that's available by going to www.tradingfloor and signing up for the link for the free link to the small portfolio as well. Okay, so bought a position in apps. Excellent. Bought a position in apps at 41.20. Let's look at apps. This is Digital Turbine, by the way. And I definitely have a position in this as well. And let's take a look at it. Let's see how we're doing with Digital Turbine. Well, it's kind of just, you're right at, we're pretty much at where it is. I do think it's going higher. We're at 41.20. You bought it at 41.20, so you're right at the buy point. It's pulled back a little bit. It went up, but I do think that we're going to see some nice action on this. And let me see if I can give you. I do think it's going to follow the 10-day line, and let me just kind of draw you sort of an idea of kind of where I think it's going in the next few days, if I can get this thing to work. There we go. Oh, come on. So click that. Oh, maybe click that first, and for some reason, maybe it's control. Yeah. Is that right? No. Okay. Okay. I am trying to get my machine to draw a line, and I can't. I apologize on that. But I do think you're going to do well on that at that price. Let's look at the checklist again. It's 8 out of 9. That doesn't get much better than that. 9 out of 9 being better, but just barely. The ownership looks very strong on that. Nice increasing fund ownership. We still don't have Lord Abbott or Fidelity Contra Fund in there. I'd like to see that, but it's definitely looking good. We've got a relative strength of 99. Wow, that's good. Our volume is a little bit off of the average, but I do see it increasing. So I just think they're going to do well with Digital Turbine. I think you're going to do very well. So congrats. I hope that was a good call, and I hope that you do well with it. I think you will. So I sold a caller call at 20. Also holding a 20 call up 20%. Any suggestions? Seems to be on a run. Good question. XPEV. Let's look at XPEV. Is that right? Oh, XPEV. Okay, did I get that right? XPEVs. Thank you. XPEV. Let's look at the chart on that. XPEV. Let's see. Okay, come on. There we go. Wow, Wee Kazawa. Interesting. Chinese company. Wow, these are Chinese companies, I have to admit, are not my specialty, and it's tough. Here's what bothers me about this chart. It only has a relative strength of 25. I'm not really that psyched on it. It only has a checklist of, it's 5 out of 9. That's not too bad. It has fund ownership. That's strong. I just think on the options, you know what? I think if I had profits on my options on this, I would sell, because I wait on this one a little bit. I think you want to be a Neo rather than this one. That's just my take on it. But that's a good price. All right, so Apple for earnings. Any stocks you think splits during earnings? That's a good question. Let me see if I can get a stock split calendar up here. By the way, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you'll know that I have a very much of a love of stock splits, because stock splits are very interesting in that they almost always show a potential for making money. So I'm pulling up this is the site that Fidelity has, and it's Fidelity maintains this. Let's see if there's anything interesting on the stock split calendar. Most of this is going to be junk, but sometimes every once in a while you're going to get something good. So let's see if we've got anything in here that I like. Most of these are gold stocks and smaller ones. Okay, let's look at, I don't think there's anything for October that we can get excited about. There's, this isn't really that great either. Let's see if we can go into December. The best upcoming stock split right now that I can see out there for everybody, it's McCormick and Company, and that's symbol MKC. It's a 2-for-1, which I like. So for every one share you have. So this might be a very good potential. McCormick and Company. Let's look to see. This is going to be in December on this. So let's look at MKC to see if we have any opportunities here for into the stock split. Now, typically, stocks will move when they're announced as a stock split. It'll move up, and then it will pull back, and then typically, as it comes into the split time, it will reach its pinnacle in terms of price right before the stock split is executed. So, I do think that this might be a very good potential. It's currently selling at 198. Let's look at kind of how it looks. This is it's 6 out of 9. I like this. Now, with these stocks, this is in the consumer staples business, so this is a little bit different. My criteria is a little bit more lenient than with some of the tech stocks, but I still like this one. 6 out of 9, very good. Very strong ownership by funds. I like that. We're coming into a season that's going to be the best season for it, and that's always the Christmas season. It's always going to be the best for a stock like McCormick. So I think that this is the only real interesting stock split that's coming up that I can see coming up. So that's kind of where I'm at. Now let's look at Amazon. Amazon is a little bit tougher call because it's been so good. It has pulled back a little bit. Can you buy it into earnings? Well, let's see if we can. It's definitely in a buy zone right now. Boy, nothing stopping Amazon. It's in an I zone, but it's pulled back basically to the buy point. The buy point being 33.44.29. I'm really of two minds of this. I want to see this thing. It looks like it's seeing some resistance at the buy point. I kind of want to see it solidly in the buy zone before I buy it. It's a 91 relative strength, which is good, but there are other ones that are better. It's got every fund in the world in it, which is great. The biggest issue with Amazon, it's so widely held by so many people that if they miss, and they could miss just slightly, and I mean not miss big at all, a lot of funds could be getting out of it. So I think it's a little bit more chancy to buy this. It's a watch list always. Amazon is a great stock. I just don't know if this is the right level to buy it at. It is in the buy zone. I realize that it is in the buy zone. So technically, on technical merit, you can buy it right at this level. But I want to see it firm up. I want to see it stay above that 33.44.29 level. I want to see it stay at that for 2 or 3 days before I want to buy it. It's a little bit tough to buy it at that level. So I would be I'd be a little bit concerned about buying that into earnings. I think it can pull back, and just my opinion on it. But that's my opinion on it. Thought on NEO for long term. Well, I can't really give you a long term. NEO is a trading stock. I'm interested in investing in Tesla, and I'm interested in trading NEO. That's my take on it. This is not an investing stock. NEO is not an investing stock. NEO is a trading stock. Now, can you trade it successfully? You betcha you can. You betcha you could trade that one successfully, but it is not a stock to invest in. It's a stock to trade. That's just kind of my opinion on that. So there you go. All right, so buy point for Tesla. Well, the buy point for Tesla right now is 502. It's actually, let's pull it up on the screen again. Tesla. Okay, yeah. Now, what does a buy point mean? Well, a buy point means it's sort of where the floor on the price is. So you want to buy up these buy points, especially so that we'll get some support there. And typically that's what happens. You buy at the buy point, it consolidates there, and that's where it starts its move higher. So right now, it's sort of in this trading range where it hasn't yet confirmed that it's going to move a leg higher. So right now we're below the buy zone, buy point. The buy point is 502.49. Now, why am I buying it here? Why am I buying it at this level? Because I do believe going into these earnings, I think that this is a good opportunity to buy this stock because I do think it will move past the 502 buy point, and then once it does, it won't pull back below that. So as you can see, it's kind of going to hopefully move up to there and then stick there for a while. It's also got a 99 relative strength. So if you've got to be careful. If you buy it at this level, there's a potential that it could drop all the way back down to the 40-day to the 50-day moving average, which is 400. So you got to be cognizant of that. Okay, so if it moves above 502, it's less likely that it'll pull back to the $400 level. But if you're buying it now in this area, it potentially could fall as low as the 50-day moving average, which is at 400. So that's kind of what I want to put out there regarding Tesla and Tesla buy points. Okay, so let's get to people on TikTok. Buy target before earnings. I think it's buyable right now. I think Tesla is buyable right now at 461. Now, here's the thing about it. It may pull back once it goes through earnings. I doubt it will, because I think second quarter earnings are going to be quite good for Tesla actually. Because of deliveries and just everything going on. And as a matter of fact, I think that in many ways, this COVID thing has actually helped them, because remember, they don't have any dealers. They're not like GM, Ford, Chrysler, or anybody else like that. They are a direct-to-consumer company. So they have actually benefited during this period when a lot of the dealerships couldn't deliver cars. So I think the second quarter numbers for Tesla are going to be quite good. And normally I wouldn't do this. Normally I wouldn't buy it. I would buy it and then I would sell it right before earnings. But on this case, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I bought today and I'm probably going to hold into earnings, and I'm probably going to hold after earnings. So I increased my position in Tesla today. So let's see. Okay. TTD on a serious tear. Yeah, the Trade Desk. This is a really interesting company. As you probably know, the two incumbent, place ads on social media companies are Google, obviously, and Facebook. So that's why they do so great. And I still think Facebook is a great buy, by the way. But there's this other company called TTD, the Trade Desk, and what they do is that if you have traffic that goes to your sites or to social media, they will sell ads for you too. And so they have just been on a tear. It is absolutely true. Let's look at the chart on it. We're currently at 653.96. There really isn't a buy point on this at all. Sometimes when you get these stocks, you just sort of have to buy them on the 21-day exponential. There was a lot of activity, a lot of people buying this. It's the funds that are really buying this. It's 48% fund ownership on this thing. So this is really something else. It's got two of the best. It's got Lord Abbott in here, I believe. Does it have Lord Abbott? No, it doesn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Excellent fund support, moving up. It's got a checklist, 7 out of 9. Now, I'd like to see it a little bit higher than that, but that's still excellent. It's in a great part of the market. It's basically 48% are funds in this thing. So that's very, very good. Let's look at the industry and sector. 7. Wow, this is 7 out of 197. So this is in the very top of the market. Very excellent. Is there a buy point on this thing? Well, the only real buy point on this, unfortunately, there's no actual base on this. It's got a 97 relative strength. The buy point on this, I would say, would be 553. We're way extended from that. We're $100 above that. So, could you buy it at this level? Absolutely. And it looks like it's just marching right up. So, if you're willing to take a little bit of risk, you can buy this. But you got to realize that it potentially could fall back very quickly to the $600 level, to the 10-day line. So that's what you got to be concerned about. But it looks like it's just. If I wish I had unlimited funds, because I would be in it definitely. It's just I just have limited funds. But it's really, really good. It's really, really good. Okay, 502 Tesla. Absolutely, that's the buy point currently on Tesla. is 502, and we're under that now, so there's a good opportunity to get into it. As it exceeds the buy point, it's going to basically sit at that buy point, and that's going to form a floor for the price. So that's what buy points are all about. That's why you buy them when they exceed the buy point, because that tends to be an area that they're going to settle. So they're not going to pull back too much below that buy point typically, at least in the short-term trading. NVIDIA, another fantastic stock, of course. It's the GPU. It's gaming. It's AI. It's just a lot of things. NVIDIA is a great company, and it's probably just getting better. The capitalization now for NVIDIA is bigger than Intel. That is absolutely amazing. I think it's incredible that it's so big on that valuation. Now it's pulled back to the 10-day line, but still it's just moving up very, very nicely. The question is, where is it going? I don't know, but I do think it's going up. I mean, I do think that, this is not a declining stock. So let's see if I can, why can't I get that to work? I'm trying to get the drawing tool to work, and it doesn't seem to work well for me. Okay, so let's look at the checklist. 100%. It doesn't get better. Funds, excellent, 42%. There are banks that are in this. This is a bankable stock. That's very rare. 29 industry group out of 197. Boy, that's good. Let's see what the options say. 560, and we're getting $58. Wow, that's great. This is very, very bullish, by the way. When you look at the option prices out 30 days, and they're showing potentially a 10% premium of the price, then the market and the options are very bullish on this. This is very, very bullish. This is going higher, folks. It's probably going higher. I think it's buyable. I'd like to buy this. I'd like to buy this at the right buy point, but I think if you could get it at the 10-day, it would be pretty good. 553. So we're at 563. Now, I don't necessarily recommend buying at these alternate buy points, but sometimes with the stocks like this, you sort of have to buy them there. It looks as if it exceeds this its high, which is 589, which is very close to, it's looking like it could move even higher. So let's look at the weekly chart to see if there's anything we can buy this off of. Yep, there is. There's a buy point. That's fantastic. We have a buy point on this at 589.07. So we are right below the buy point. So this is actually an excellent time to buy NVIDIA. Very excellent time to buy NVIDIA at this buy point of 589.07. 589.07. So that's sort of where we're at on the buy point for NVIDIA. So wow, I'm going to put that down on my list. And that it's funny when they start coming on a lot of things. So NVIDIA, it looks like another one that could be very, very profitable in terms of buy. We're just below the buy point on it. So wow, fantastic. Any ideas on OSTK? It's been consolidating. OSTK. So let's see. If somebody calling in. Wow. Let me see if I can take that phone call. Jim Malone, Dallas Trading Floor. You're on the air.
Hi, Jim.
Yeah, you're on the air. I got 2 minutes.
Oh, sorry. I was listening to you on YouTube. Fastly is down. We're trying to get your attention for Fastly.
Oh, okay. I will take a look at the chart. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's look at Fastly. It's pulled back a little bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, it's just pulled back to the buy zone, so we're not in trouble there. Again, stocks basically don't go up in a straight line. They come up and then they pull back a little bit. But yeah, no, that's the buy point on this is still 117.79. So we're still good in there at 117.79. So I don't think there's any worries here. I just think it's going to settle here at the buy point, and then we'll see. But it's still 99 relative strength. So I don't see this necessarily as a problem. The buy point, that's why you want to try to buy as close to the buy point as you possibly can when I put it out there. But the buy point on is 117, so I don't really necessarily think that this is I think we're going to see some support at this level. It's going to probably be a little bit of railroad tracks here, but I think we're going to see some support at this level. So that's my take on Fastly. Okay, well, it's just at an hour. I have gone a whole hour today, and we are almost basically we're done for today. But tomorrow I will be on at 2:30, and of course, if you want to get on the action trade alerts, that's super easy to do. All you have to do is go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and sign up for the action trade alerts. And so I will see you tomorrow at 2:30 Central Time. Until then,